Yeah, I'm going live today just really quickly. Okay, somebody hit me up. All right. So, this title of this live, this really short live, is Environment is the Key to Your Success. So I went up to messages, don't need it. I went up to DC, that's where I'm from. I moved down to North Carolina about 3 years ago. Um, and prior to that, I'm in DC doing my thing, hustling, music production, got family, really trying to just work out what I'm doing. Why I left DC and wanted to move down to the south to a more rural area, it's got a whole other backstory. But more importantly, it was about environment. And every time that I've gone back up to DC to just visit folks, and it's just solidified that the environment is just not was not healthy for me. So I'll give it to you all like this. I go back up to DC. First off, I don't tell too many people I'm coming up to DC because I wasn't there on vacation. I was just there really quickly for someone's graduation, and we're headed out yesterday. Headed out, about to leave yesterday. Some of my old near and dear buddies call me up and they're like, "Yo, we outside. My buddy's outside." All right, cool. I come outside, and one of the first things is, my buddy's just really excited to see me, uh, but it's like back to this old way of, man, well, when you come back home and when you're doing this, that, and the other. And, in my mind, I'm like, home is always where I happen to be. Home is where I happen to be. So, born and raised in Washington, D.C., but wherever I happen to be is my home, right? So I thought that was interesting. Then I'm up there and I'm like, trying to have conversations, higher frequency conversations about just about, business. How's everybody doing? What's going down? Like how can we, I guess, overcome as a people? I don't know. Just trying to have some higher frequency conversations. So, through the chilling out meeting with my buddy, another buddy ends up coming. And they're like, man, hey, man, it's good to see you, so on and so forth. Man, you look great, talking about me. Saying, hey, you look great, like we're not looking great, we're fat and all this, that, and the other type of stuff, but you looking great. I'm like, okay, cool, appreciate that. But interestingly enough, they tell me, like, yo, bro, we're proud of you. I'm like, okay, cool. They're like, we thought that you were only going to be down in North Carolina for 3 months before you came, essentially crawling back to DC. In my brain, I'm like, man, wow. That's crazy, but it's not like, it's not unexpected. These were the same friends who, when I'm saying I want to do entrepreneurship, I want to be able to utilize my brain to help people. They're like, man, you need to go ahead and get that job, man. Go ahead and get that, that good government job. And I'm like, nah, it's deeper than a government job. It's deeper than a government job. I have things to share with people, things that I've learned. Man, they're like, you need to go get that government job, man. You got a whole family you need to be supporting, and so on and so forth, this, that, and the other. This is their frame of reference. Hey there, Kim. This is their frame of reference. So they're like, you need to go, back in the day, they were like, yeah, you need to go get the job, so on and so forth. I'm like, nah, I'm a music producer, songwriter. This is what I'm pushing and pressing. Although, it was not making enough money for me to say this is what I'm living off of. And that's the truth about it. But I still had to dream. I still had a dream, and what they ended up representing was external forces, but it's what I believed myself. They were just voicing the things that I was believing myself, but it happened to be because I was in that environment. And I'm like, listen, I need to change the environment. So that's why I moved. That's one of the reasons why I moved down to the South, to North Carolina. But when they said that yesterday, they were like, yo, man, we really, thought that you was only going to be down for 3 months. I'm like, man, wow. Then they also say, man, you need to come back up to D.C., man. In my brain, I'm thinking like, okay, you're proud of me because I actually left, and in your brain, I'm doing it. I stayed there, which means that, again, I'm somebody who had the courage to keep going. And I tell them, and my family knows, it is nothing but the grace of the Most High that has kept me and my house moving forward, pressing forward, because it has not been any kind of easy journey. It's not been an easy journey navigating, moving from your home base to a completely different place. All right, to NC, exactly. So, it's not. I was able to say that it was because of the grace of my God, my Creator, that I'm able to be down here and to keep navigating while, pushing my business forward, while just dealing with external forces. We've had a whole challenge down in North Carolina on its own. But I'm like, why in the world would my buddy said, yo, I didn't believe in you. I'm proud of you. You should come back to DC. I said, man, that's the whole reason why I left. It's funny. It's the whole reason why I left. That mentality of, crabs in a barrel sort of situation. A brother was just talking. I was talking to a brother, and he was just like saying, have you ever seen it's an elder, right? An elder down here. He was like, have you ever seen a crab? He was like, look, if you put one crab in the barrel, the one crab is going to claw and try to figure out how to get out of that barrel. But he said, just 2 crabs in that barrel. He said, man, they ain't never going to get out. Just 2. Never going to get out. Because when one is trying to climb out and get out of the barrel, the other one's like, you got to come on back down because I got to get out the barrel. Why would I ever come back to an environment like that when my main buddies are saying that they didn't even believe in me, believe in me in the beginning? The funniest thing, y'all, is that stuff used to really, really, really hurt me. I'm like, yo, like, why my own friends don't believe in me? I'm pushing my own music. I'm pushing beats and things like that, instrumentals on people. My friends know how hard I work. They're like, yo, your music's awesome. I'm like, did you tell anybody about it? Nah. You need to, man, give your music away for free. This is them saying this. While also saying I need to be making money from it. So it doesn't even make sense, and I don't blame them. It's about the environment. The environment that they are in has these conflicted ideas that just circulate around. It just circulates around. It's like, yeah, I want a man make a lot of money, but I don't want to do anything different. Yeah, I want a man, I want to be somewhere else in my life, but I don't want to do anything different. I don't even want to leave my surroundings because they're safe. Paraphrasing from the book, What Makes the Great Great, talking about having faith is that you have to have faith. He talks about it like a ship. It's like you can't discover a new place by being on the shore, by staying on the shore. At some point in time, you got to hop in a boat and go out to that ocean where you don't see no land. That's that type of faith that you have to have. Another thing that I used to say, even while being in DC, and I challenge everybody to, just to remember this, is that you got to stop saying there's no good people, I'm saying, in where I'm at. There's nobody, man, where I'm at, which can be true. But if you are harping on that thought process, the way that the universe is set up, right? The way that the creator set up the universe to run itself is that energy is like, well, you're saying that there's nobody, so I'm going to make sure that there is nobody. I'm going to make sure that your words and your thoughts and your meditations are true. Then what's really interesting and weird about that is that you're like there's nobody, but then you're there. That's a level of arrogance to say there ain't nobody else here in this town. It's just me. You're there. So either there are more people in the town or you're the idiot for staying in the town. And it makes us feel better sometimes to be like, man, there ain't nobody else, you know what I'm saying, in this town, but me. I'm the greatest, I'm the smartest, this, that, and the other. Go somewhere else. There is a saying, which I firmly believe, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find some new friends. You need to find some new friends. Because you are not growing, especially if you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, which is definitely possible. But just like we said on the live yesterday, the Soundboard Sundays, Max brought up a principle. I can't remember who it was. I believe it might have been Neil Davis, but my co-host Max Mupese on our live series Soundboard Sundays at 3 p.m. EST every Sunday. Max said you need to have a 30-30-30 rule, right? So that's 30% peers, 30% coaches, 30% students that you're surrounding yourself and pouring into. And I said, Max, what's the, that's 30-30-30. Like, well, I foolishly said, man, the numbers are off because you need to equal up 100. And no, you have to have 10%. 10%, that 10% is crucial. Who is that 10%? That 10% is a little bit of yourself, some of your family, but then also, older friends sometimes. Sometimes it's older friends. Those older friends, people keep you grounded. It's funny, y'all, because in the live I did yesterday, I was like, you need those friends the people who kind of keep you grounded. And then I had my buddies come over, and their level of grounding was negative. It was negative. And I was like, man, wow, this is crazy. But even more so, I was very pleased with my response, because when they would, again, berate me, and I'm already trying my hardest being a so-called black man in this country, which is difficult on its own, right? Working on trying to to push and press an entrepreneurial business, which is difficult on its own. I got squads that are telling me I need to be doing something else. Quit what you're doing. It's not making you no money. Stop trying to create an inheritance for your children. Stop trying to better yourself. Stop trying to use your brain. Use your hands. Use your hands. Go work for somebody. You crazy out here trying to do something for yourself. It was awesome being around those brothers, and here's why. One, again, I still love them because you know it's like family. You love them, but you can't necessarily be around them all the time because you're trying to better yourself and they're not trying to better themselves. So on the airplane, I say this all the time. I use this analogy on the airplane. They tell you on an airplane, in the case of an emergency, put the mask on yourself and then help your child or elderly person or disabled person, whatever. Why? They're like, you got to take care of you first so that you can be able to help someone else. If you're watching this right now, you need to know that you might have to take care of someone else. So the most imperative thing is to help yourself. It seems mad selfish, but that is how it goes. You cannot help anybody else until you have helped yourself. Because here's what happens is that you help somebody else. Listen, y'all, you help somebody else. And then they say, thank you. So, so why aren't you doing, so why aren't you successful? And they're like, man, dang, I just spent my time helping you. I just spent my time helping you. They don't care about that. The beauty about these people, these types of friends, is that they remind you that you need to see results. That results are what matters. They represent a way bigger demographic. Results are what matters. You need to continue putting the mask on for yourself, making sure that things are good for yourself. You have got to be compassionately selfish. You have to say, no, I ain't got time for that right now, y'all. I ain't got time for the low-level conversation. I used to smoke a bunch of herb. I don't have any problem with smoking herb, right? But I used to smoke herb, and I'm like, right now, I can't smoke herb because I've literally tried to smoke herb, try to smoke the herbs and get work done. For me, it is absolutely impossible. I'm like, the next time I have some herb, for real, I have to be on a vacation, on a beach somewhere, overlooking some mountains and things like that. Whatever. I have to be on vacation. I cannot be on work mode and have an herb. Because I got to think clearly. These are the awesome things. These are the awesome things that I learned coming back into my old environment. It's like, yo, what you are doing, Maddie, is great. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay away from friends and family for a little bit while you continue to put your mask on, while you continue to search for what success means from a mental standpoint, from a financial standpoint, from a relationship standpoint. I want you all to know that sometimes you've got to be selfish and say, listen, I can't even be around my family and my friends. People who have supported me in certain ways and aspects, who have given me support, they are only able to give as much as they know. Can't really blame them. But if you need something else to take you to another level, you got to say, listen, like, I got to be, man, in a completely different environment. And here's the beautiful thing. We have the internet. This is such a great time to be alive. We got the internet. You can join groups. You can find your peers. You can find folks who need your help, who you can teach. And most importantly, you can find coaches. I am one. I coach beginner to intermediate music producers. Solidify and get your mindset together as well as your skill set so that you can get that bag, right? But also so that you can have longevity in a career of music. Because when it's just you trying to get your stuff going and don't nobody believe in you, they're like, yo, man, get your work done. Go back and get your job done. Go to your job. Believe in pushing somebody else's dream forward. That mindset, y'all. That mindset is what's going to carry you to the next level in your music career. It's not what I'm talking about here. There's all sorts of things, resources, from an environmental standpoint. There's a morning meetup. 400 some odd entrepreneurs of different areas meet up every day, Monday through Friday. We read a book together. We network together. We build each other up. We spend money with each other. Being in that environment has been so crucial to me, because sometimes even in your family, you got people who are married. You got people who are unmarried, got children, but even sometimes in your environment with your family, sometimes you're the only entrepreneur. Sometimes you're the only person who believes in that dream, and you need to be around other people. The morning meetup has been great for me. I've been in the morning meetup as long as my son's been born, which was since April the 19th of this year. Get in an environment where you are with other people who want to win, and make sure that you are that person also, that you're not bringing in that negativity. Into that environment. Make sure that you are around people who are supporting you, and that you are able to support those other people, because it's out there. I'm telling y'all the truth, y'all. Like, I literally, my connection to my creator is so great. I prayed, and I was like, yo, Father, I have got to be around some other people. I've got to be around some other people who are thinking like I am, who are in that mind frame. And it's not my job to lay it on my friends and on my family. They're doing their job. And he blessed me again with David Shands, who facilitates the morning meetup and is the host, brings people on, does coaching for the low. If you want to join, link up in the morning meetup, DM me and say, yo, what's the link to the morning meetup? You can start your trial for a week for $1. And then it's $79 every month after that. But the resources and everything that you get, the environment alone, yo, there was a sister today that was like, yo, I want to be an entrepreneur. She's very like young in her entrepreneurial space, fired up, but like, yo, like, there's nobody around me. And I'm sitting here like, it's 370 people, not including herself, 370 people on this call on the morning who are here. It's like people who have been in the desert for so long. You've seen so many mirages of water. You don't actually know when you are actually experiencing real water. Real water is right there. And you're like, man, I'm so thirsty. It's like, it's a well right here. You're like, but I'm thirsty. Like I need water. That's just environment, y'all. Many of us are coming out of the cold, and we don't even know that the blessings are like right here, like right in front of our face. And that's okay. Hopefully that sister stays in the morning meetup for at least 3. I say you at least need to be a part of it for 3 months so that you can get that full experience. If you want to be a part of the morning meetup, link up with me and say, I need the morning meetup. I will send you the link. Anyways, just talking about environment today. Environment is the key to your success. It is so imperative when you're trying to build as an entrepreneur to know who you're around. It is not your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your son, daughter. It is not your best friend from the sandbox job to encourage you sometimes. It's not their job. It's not your job sometimes for your old business partner. Sometimes you are meant to grow past where you have been. And the people that are around you they have to be that what they are so that they can show a level of contrast. So they can show you need to grow, because if you're not, y'all just going to keep on this circular loop. So I give thanks for, friends who did not have any faith in me. I give thanks for family members who decided, that they're going to have a beef with me and things like that. Listen, it has helped me grow. And when you can go back into those old environments and feel nothing, feel no animosity, feel no, man, why would they say that? That means you have grown, y'all. That means you have grown. Pat yourself on the back. That means you have grown. If you still feel a certain way, listening to the naysayers, even when it's friends and family, those are like the most important naysayers. Even when it's friends and family, you still got growing to do. You still got to separate out that environment a little bit. When you can come back and feel nothing but, man, wow, my friends and my family, they really need to grow. It's like you going away. You have to go back into your environment, your old environment at some point in time, because when you go away from your environment, it's like practicing in a dojo. I use this analogy all the time. You're always practicing in the dojo. You spending hours in there and things like that, practicing, with sparring buddies, and, y'all are practicing pre-planned movements and how to defend yourself from these pre-planned movements. You don't know how you're going to do in a real fight. You don't know if the theory of what you learned is actually going to work in a real fight until you get into a real fight. That's what it's like. Going into those old environments. But you can't go into those old environments not having been prepared and built up. Mental fortitude, being able to, and also the success of actually doing it. I don't want to manhold y'all because I've got work to do today too. But I just wanted to hop on here to let someone know that your environment is the key to your success. Changing your environment. Sometimes you can't even do anything right now, y'all, but just change the mental state and say, listen, I'm not actually going to go hang out with my friends, or I'm not going to go hang out with those families who are toxic. Really, they just don't believe in themselves, and they're just projecting those things onto you. That's really all that they're doing. There needs to be a level of sympathy for that. But sympathy doesn't mean that you have to hang around that and be dragged down by that same energy. Today, find some folks where you can link up with that have the same energy. I'm working to put that together. I'm working on putting that together, a space for music producers and also the emerging artists and emerging music producers. A good space for them to be, because you need to be around, peers, people who are ahead of you, coaches, and then people who are at where you were, so that you can pour into somebody else. All right. So listen, you are enough. You are enough today. Make sure that you're in an environment that cultivates that mindset for you and cultivates the skills. You got to go do something. All right, I'm out. Peace.